game is sick.
I fucking love that sound.
I do, yeah, yeah.
Hi, I guess I'm filling in for Mysterious Bob and Yoshi on this sub-series of this watch series. Wario's house got some renovations since the last game.
Yeah?
I'm I'm not used to seeing Wario with his mouth closed like that. Cause like anytime it happens, I always make note of it mentally.
I do like this is continuity. This series has, I guess.
I need to go to my flamboyant doctor.
I know this guy who does weird shit. Maybe he could do weird shit to my Game Boy. I noticed he didn't buy the GBA SP that, 9-Volt was so excited about in the last game.
I mean, I think he like lost all of his money at the ending of Mega Micro Games.
Oh, sure.
So, you know, Wario's a broke ass motherfucker again.
So I guess, I should mention, yeah, I did play this physically. I didn't realize, this game released after the DS game in the US?
I learned that recently too, just because I was curious about that. So I can tell you the stuff that went down about how and why this game got made, but I guess the cliff notes of it is like the development team wanted to make like a second one of these for the Game Boy Advance, but the Nintendo DS was kind of like up on the horizon, and they were making this and Touched simultaneously. And I think the crew like split apart in order to make both games like at the same time. And
I did notice, yeah, so this game came out 2 months before the DS game in Japan. It came out, like, 6 months after or something like that in the US, and it didn't come out at all in the EU, because, I don't know, fuck 'em, I guess. Because, apparently, Mercury. That was,
what?
let me go find that anecdote that Yoshi posted, but it was just something like they found fucking mercury in it or something, or they were afraid of something going wrong, and so they just said like, fuck it.
Wario would probably be like, what do you mean? It's fine. I eat mercury all the time. Why?
This game was going to be released in Europe, but the release was cancelled because the gyro sensor was erroneously believed to contain mercury.
But they had Yoshi's gravitational... Yeah. But, yeah, the gyro stuff, I don't know if that was, like, late into the development of the game, or, like, early on, but I just remember that, the person that would go on to direct the Rhythm Heaven series would, come up with the idea because he was working on, like, a motion sensor. And, yeah, they brought the idea to the late Satoru Iwata, and, the director, quote, knew that he had a success on his hands when Iwata spun around the system in his chair and called the demo idiotic.
Amazing. So I guess I should, you know, formally introduce this. This is the second of two GBA WarioWare games. It has a giant thing on the cartridge that makes it stick out like crazy. And, yeah, it can detect motion. It can detect, like, turning. And so this game's entire gimmick is that it doesn't have any use of the D-pad at all. It only uses the A and B buttons, mostly A buttons from micro games, and turning. You just turn the thing physically. I recorded this playthrough myself because I didn't like the ones that I had to select from. and you might be curious how that works. Nowadays, apparently, it works with, like a control stick. Like, you use the sensitivity of the control stick to determine how far you're turning it. And it just sort of arbitrarily decides that. Beforehand, whenever I first played this on emulation, you use left and right to turn it, and then you held B to make it turn faster. And that was even jankier.
I did want to call a little bit of attention to the Golden Pyramid poster and the music box from Wario Land 4 and 3, respectively, in Wario's house.
Oh, huh.
You don't get too many nods like that, other than one of the Wario Land 4 bosses appearing in the latest WarioWare game in Move It. Like, straight up wholesale.
The first set of microgames is basically a tutorial because you actually cannot fail them. There's no timer and there's no fail condition for, I think, any of them. So
nice of Wario to do that, given that the idea honestly takes some getting used to. You know, just a gyro control game for the most part, and I feel like out of like all series, at least under Nintendo's like catalog, WarioWare takes pretty good advantage of weird system gimmicks.
I do love how they tutorialize so hard that they have a big screen in the front of the game that says, "Turn the console and not your body." You genius.
But yeah, Mona and her many different jobs.
Yeah, she has a different job in this one, and then I believe she changes professions again in the next game. That's her gimmick, I guess.
I feel like that for a high schooler would be way too damn much.
So this game also has another thing or it introduces another thing where every character sort of has like... Because the games from here on out are all like motion gimmicks as far as I know. I think they probably slowed down on that, but it's... You know, this game with its own motion gimmick on a GBA, which is kind of amazing that they had to invent one, essentially. And then the DS with its gimmicks, and then the Wii. So, but for here, every character has like their own take on what you do with the gimmick. Like, Mona's is pretty consistent in that it's very small motions, so she has like small turning in this game.
Yeah.
And you'll see every other character has some sort of different way they tackle using the motion gimmicks, or not using it at all, as we see.
Yeah, it's like previously it was just like themed on aesthetics for like micro game sets. Like in the first one, like Jimmy T's was based around sports, and Mona's was based on strange. And now it's actually based on, like, what to expect when it comes to playing these games.
Yeah, the actual theming of the game doesn't really matter until you get to Wario, and he's just like, oh, they're all themed after me. But other than that, it's just a lot of random stuff from here on out, but still amusing. I should say, I actually really like this game. This actually might be my favorite in the series.
Yeah.
I have a hard time picking between this and DS. I need to play DS again, because I had different opinions of it just looking at it again. But...
I do own this physically, like, secondhand. I got it kinda late, but, just as a spur of the moment, get this game, I did enjoy it because of how unique it is.
Yeah.
And I am very fortunate to still be in possession of a Game Boy Advance.
Oh, another thing I should bring up is, oh, and of course, you're probably going to see me do things that you either wouldn't be able to do, or you wouldn't really do in a physical version, but, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to be able to record a physical version of this, like, either, you know, with a GBA or with a GameCube, apparently.
Yeah! Because, you know, it's a Game Boy Advance game, and it still is compatible with the Game Boy Advance player from the GameCube, so you better hold on to that handle and pray.
Yeah, when you showed me that video, it took me a second to be like, oh, what the fuck, they're holding a GameCube? Like, what the fuck? Jesus, how do you do the A? Whatever. I just want to mention that song, because that's another thing that they do consistently, is have, like, music that goes throughout, and they do a lot of songs. It's very Matcha Melee that way, but,
Yeah.
this game, for better or worse, is now localized, as opposed to the way WarioWare was, where it was pretty, like, minimal. They didn't translate either of the songs. This game actually has a fair bit of localization changes that are interesting, including just redoing the lyrics for that song, which, again, like, you have to program lyrics in, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's all samples and it plays by, like, sample. It's not like an MP3. A monkey!
This game's really fun. Like, I'm the last person to praise motion gimmicks, but this and the next one I remember being just a ton of fun. So
Yeah, I think there's, like, a difference between, like, having a motion gimmick for something silly like this and, like, having motion gimmicks for, like, Star Fox or something. I don't know. Just speaking hypothetically, it would suck if there were a Star Fox game with only gyro controls.
there's a difference between, like, ham-fisting a motion gimmick because your console has it, and then, like, actually utilizing it because you actually have an idea with it. Like, this is definitely something, like, we have an interesting idea, so let's do it. Let's do something goofy where you physically turn your console around, your handheld.
Oh yeah, if you plug this game into your DS with WarioWare Touched, you do get the Mona Pizza song as a bonus.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of doodads and mini games like the previous one. Well, actually, they have a lot more in this game. Actually, yeah, I guess I didn't show it off. There's stuff like music you can play, and then you could, like, just mess with it.
Because it's presented in, like, vinyl format, so you can scratch the record.
Yeah. Also, I will say playing this in emulation was pretty weird. It's not ideal, I'll say that much. But
It is one of those things that honestly feels better and authentic and fun when you have, like, an actual cartridge, and just hope that the secondhand game market isn't unkind to this game.
I guess Jimmy's gimmick is just big turns. I didn't really pick up on that one as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tried to mess around a little bit without actually compromising the games.
Now I'm just thinking whether or not there was, like, a virtual console version of this for, like, Wii U or not. But I'm probably just gonna assume not.
Yeah, that's unfortunately one of those things you can't really do again unless you actually have the physical thing in your hand, you know? You can't, like, resell it, or and even emulation is pretty... It's not ideal, for sure.
Really, the closest that we would get is WarioWare Gold, which essentially compiles a bunch of games from Mega Micro Games, Twisted, and Touched, and a few others readjusted for, like, those three control schemes into, like, one big package. So that's the closest that we'll get to, like, a modern-ish port. And even then, that was, like, 2018 ago.
I gotta shout out to the minigames where, this has happened a couple of times, we just saw it, where I didn't have to do fucking anything, and I still won, and I think that's actually kind of a setback of doing this in emulation, is because you can just sit perfectly still, like, 100%, with, you know, just not pressing anything, but if you actually have the console in your hands, like, that's not as much of a guarantee, you know? So it is again, like, yeah, it kind of cheapens it a little bit. Also, the fucking use of pre-rendered phone. Ridiculous. Oh, I forgot I was gonna introduce this game by saying, like, this is the most insane, efficient use of sprite rotation you'll ever see in anything.
just taking pictures of their son with utensils.
I mean, I'm glad they got their food served to them on the dance floor.
Yeah, you know, like, should a club be serving spaghetti instead of, like, something smaller so you could keep dancing?
I like they advertised him being there as well. Like, what the fuck is he doing other than just dancing on the floor?
I mean, if you had a guy whose profession was like disco club dancer, wouldn't you want to be like near him in order to get his funk on you? It's like cooties.
No! You are not selling me on this. Alright, so, yeah, this is the, probably the biggest gimmick in that there is no gimmick. It's just button. You just a button. You don't have to turn the thing at all.
I also have to point out how eerie the, like, pre-staged screens are, where the characters are just, like, grayed out, and only, like, the white of their eyes and teeth are lit.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Rhythm Heaven ass-looking sprites. I still have to question how Wario was able to hire actual preschoolers, even if they are professional ninjas, which is, you know, a profession for espionage, assassination.
WarioWare is kind of a thing where if you think about it too hard, or just really at all, it's gonna hurt your head.
You better press the A button to run from the bees. This happened to me in summer camp once.
They do like this now, where they have like little... They're not even microgames of their own, they're just sort of tutorials.
Yeah, they got like a in-context tutorial, yeah.
They have you using the mechanics before you actually play, which is, it's neat. Okay, so, you know how it was, like, you know, fitting that they didn't translate all of the, like, characters and the aesthetic of these two's microgames in the first one? Fuck it. It's just...
Numbers.
It's just, yeah, just those numbers now. That's actually a thing they just translated for some reason. Like, I get the lyrics, but that was... I don't know. It's not the weirdest change they've made, but we'll get to that. Yeah, this is sort of like you just get your traditional... you know, your throwback to that game that was like, what, a year before this, or something?
Yeah, it was only a year before.
Love this.
Good net. Yeah, I want to hear Jimmy T in my dreams after I catch his funk like cooties.
Random localization change, they made the guy who was like running into the stall, they changed his pants from red to blue, which I guess it's because it made him look like he wasn't wearing pants.
Yeah, I actually thought he was like buck naked.
Very weird. I did do some cutting room floor stuff before I continued with the series, so got a few trivia things lined up. Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, this one got some changes because it was originally based off of a scene from Journey to the West. You know, instead of Jack and the Beanstalk, it's Buddha and Sun Wukong, which is actually based off of a bit in the original story. Essentially, the Cliff Notes version being Buddha made a bet with Sun Wukong because the ruler of heaven was tired of the Monkey King shit, and Sun Wukong lost. So he got slapped into a mountain.
Yeah, there was like I think all the graphics for that microgame were changed, even though it's like functionally the same.
And the music too.
Oh shit, yeah. And there's this. The fascination with noses becomes pretty prominent here. Also, like, even though you don't actually use the motion gimmick, you actually have to play this game sideways. Or it encourages you to, at least. It doesn't really matter. But
I do not like that sound. Huh?
I love how many different interactions there are with these nose projectiles, because you can hit them, like, on the side, directly, in the middle.
It is a very interesting hitbox.
It's just funny they put that much detail into something so goofy.
They look like fucking RPG sprites.
Yeah, they do. This is Final Fantasy.
This is like budget Fire Emblem because they're not animated as fluidly.
I mean, those children were about to murder that fucking guy.
Yeah, fucking.
That was so fun.
This did not happen to me in summer camp.
And then the Revenge of Meta Knight credit sequence.
I'm just thinking about the one for Revenge of the King and Kirby Superstar Ultra, so I'm just imagining them running into a sad DDD and a bunch of Waddle Dees. Then he gets stung by bees.
That'll make your day worse. It's a good tip for the internet, I guess.
Isn't the tip for the internet, don't feed the trolls?
Yeah, don't feed them bees.
Actually, do feed them bees. Live ones. Angry ones.
Oh yeah, so this is something weird I noticed. You get the, I get the feeling that these two were meant to be like two different levels of Scramble games, or, you know, remixes. But there's just the one? You don't actually do one for, like, the next few characters, which seems odd.
Huh.
Because that was, like, in the original game. You get 3 Jimmies with the 3 different wig colors.
Yeah, now it's just Jimmy's parents, and then later down the line, someone else.
Yeah.
That's also true for, Touched and, Smooth Moves as well. Interesting that they chose this guy as, like, the, face of remixes for a while, or his family.
Yeah.
It probably makes sense because of his association with music, now that I think about it.
Oh, maybe. But yeah, it's funny that he's the guy who has his own stuff, and then he also mixes things together. He's very busy.
He's too busy on the dance floor holding his cutlery.
Yeah.
Funny that it's also something in common with Rhythm Heaven in that way, where at certain points you have like a remix stage.
Yeah.
They like put everything that you played before and throw you into it without practice.
Oh, I didn't get to give a shout out to the fact that the Mona Pizza song transitions into this music, like, perfectly. I just really like that.
A bootleg balloon fighter.
Yeah, it's just balloon fight.
Yeah, this is like limousine battle.
Sort of strange running gag where things that feel like they should go to 9-Volt go to other characters. Like the Punch-Out minigame and or boss game in the first one.
Maybe they came up with the idea of the guy late.
Maybe. I think even Wario had a couple of like, he had like the Excite Bike one and other stuff like that.
He also had like the funny bootleg one where Mario Bros one where
Oh yeah, yeah. So,
hey, it beats driving stick, even though that most cars these days don't even have stick.
so yeah, these guys' gimmick is turning and pressing the A button, which is it's a fair bit more complex. Although I do remember from this point on, other people also get microgames that involve turning and the A button, and it's sort of like you just have to figure out that it wants you to press a button.
Yeah.
Which is like, meh. Oh yeah, so you get to pick whatever music you want here, and I went with the dumb joke one because it's funny. But it's actually a pretty nifty tune for this one by default, but there's also one where it's just a fake baseball game featuring Wario characters.
It's fucking great. Just squeeze a bee with your bare hands.
There's just a mouse spinning in that one. Forget about that.
Narf.
God, I am a little ashamed that, I'm a little sad that we don't get to see all the games, though, because I watched that video you posted of them using the GameCube, and there were so many games in there I did not remember. There's some really bizarre stuff in there. This game it's got some good stuff in it. Oh yeah, so, yeah, I did the thing that, like, Bob did with Shinobi 3, where you just record, I guess, it's like a task video, I would say, just a replay of sorts. But it mostly just reads the inputs, and then I played it back and just recorded it. This has a lot of me using rewind and then pausing the game to change the sensitivity, because it is sometimes really funky. Like,
I'm sorry, I'm just remembering that micro game where you ate a bear.
Jesus Christ. And yeah, you'll see me occasionally, like, overshoot or undershoot, and sometimes I actually have to go back and change the controls, because it's like, what I had it set to just makes it impossible to do. Like, the first boss game, where you, like, just bounce the ball, I think the first time I got to that, I literally could not beat it with the controls I had. I had to increase its sensitivity a bit. And then this one.
Well, get fucking moving.
That's a fucking boulder.
Indiana Jones on this railroad.
Where did that boulder come from? I just pissed it off, I guess.
That's the absurdity of WarioWare micro games. Like, it's funny to think about how Wario was chosen to be like the face of this. It's literally, I think, like the team decided on him just because like he was stupid or something.
He's silly. You get to be really silly with this. Like, if this is a Mario series, they're not going to have as much personality as it does.
Yeah, the quote-unquote Mario mandates, as they say.
It's like, imagine if Mario was the last section. You don't get this thing that you get where Wario's in all of his games, and he's just doing silly shit.
I don't understand cats. That line is making me not see Dribble the same way again.
Oh, jeez.
You know, as long as I take my horse dewormer, then I don't have to take my shots.
I'm not going there in this video. I haven't been to space in a while, you know, as I frequently do.
I mean, I would like to go to space frequently if I could.
Where's that at? We apparently have the entire universe that I could drive through, so you might have to be a little more specific.
Oh god, I didn't even, like, consider that. Taxi cabs for the entire universe?
And hopefully they have Earth money. Some sort of Earth currency.
It's like, this legal tender on Jupiter? Nobody lives on Jupiter. It's a gas giant.
Thanks for the telephone dribble.
They don't have solid ground or livable atmospheres, let alone like a bank.
Yeah, so you actually have a rotary phone that you use like a rotary phone, and I mess with it. I don't know how it works other than there's somewhere that it gives you numbers to dial, because when you do use it, like, unless you actually know a number, it's just like, oh, this is a disconnected line. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, Rhythm Heaven has the same thing too in a few games. There's actually one of those in Rhythm Heaven that's like a... I don't want to say like a whole ass like RPG, but it's framed like you're a detective and you're using like a phone in order to like enter passwords as clues in order to get like the audio things. It's very out there.
This guy likes dancing, doesn't he?
He's very flamboyant, and he's probably secretly over 100 years old, and he extended his lifespan using nanomachines and robotics.
Something happened to his eyes.
Nothing happened to his brain and a few of his limbs.
So yeah, his gimmick is gravity, I guess?
Yeah, games that focus on, like, gravitational application, you know, Yoshi's universal gravitation.
Yes.
Quite.
So his are pretty varied in what they actually require you to do in comparison to the rest, but they have a focus on gravity, which is neat. Some really interesting games here. And also another pre-rendered object, a big fucking washing machine. It's amazing invention which just puts things in bubbles, I guess.
Nice. I did see some footage of WarioWare Touched today, and some of the screen transitions, or like the I guess like the resting point where it gives you the score in your lives, aren't as lively as this one. So it's like a fair trade-off of...
Yeah, well, we'll get to that eventually. That's why I'm considering doing a playthrough of that one myself, because I want to kind of experience the game for myself instead of just looking at a video of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's been a good while.
I wouldn't know about DS emulation.
We'll see.
Yeah, because that's one of the reasons why I didn't emulate Rhythm Heaven on DS, is just figuring out how that shit works. And even then, I own a tablet where I probably could do it without like the no touchscreen mod.
I remember trying to run Meteos through BizHog, which is what I'm using to record this, and I remember just being not very good, and then there was a dedicated DS emulator I used that was a lot better. I can remember, like, the touchscreen just felt really off. So I don't know. I might have to just mess with it some more, but yeah, it's a little finicky. Like, there's a lot of it's funny how much you have to account for with certain emulators due to, you know, motion gimmicks and other silly things like that. I don't know if you call the DS a motion gimmick, but it is, you know, tapping the screen. It's not buttons.
It's a different can of worms.
Yeah.
And like a lot of early DS games certainly were exclusively done with like the touchscreen to show you how it worked, and then later it got a not as big a focus.
Yeah.
And even the 3DS that way to an extent.
We did get, in fact, Dawn of Sorrow. And then people realized, oh, we should probably stop doing this if we don't have any good ideas.
I like Kirby Canvas Curse. I feel like that was a game that took advantage well of the touchscreen.
I remember not being so fond of that one, but it's also been a long time. Or maybe I did like it. I don't even remember at this point. I might be thinking of Kirby Epic Yarn. Because that was just a waste of time.
That one is fairly different. It's like Wario and Kirby, they seem to like using really weird ideas on.
Yeah, true. I guess Mario is the sort of the mainstream one, so you make a weird-ass Mario game, you're gonna get a lot of confused customers. You gotta play that one really safe. Alright, so this is a gimmick that I don't know if it ever came back, but as far as I know it didn't.
It did.
Okay. These are the Wario games from earlier, but now they have a loose condition in the sense that you have an overall timer, and finishing a game gives you some time back. So
Yeah.
it's actually you can run out of time on like a single game if you sit on it for like 10 seconds or something absurd. It eventually just like, alright, you're screwed, so we're just gonna take you out of it. This one works so weird in emulation.
Yeah, this game type mode came back in WarioWare Gold, and you could play with either the twisted gameplay motion with only like twist-based micro games, or you could use the other control schemes in the buttons or the touchscreen, or even like a mix of all three.
Huh. Oh yeah, this one's really finicky. Again, you have to. It's an emulation thing.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I appreciate about WarioWare that isn't really as talked about is just how like these sorts of screens have their own like 4-beat jingle for like before you get into a micro game, after you win it, after you lose it, and how rhythmic that is.
I love these screens. I really like the flavor of these games.
Yeah. Cooper!
Cooper, yeah. Some little tunes they come up with. It's a lot of short pieces of music, but some of it's really catchy.
Yeah.
For just
kind of makes me wish
seconds.
that there were like extended full song versions of some of these. But I guess in a way, like, how it all comes together is a song of its own.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still not very hard. I don't remember ever having much trouble with that.
Wow, Wario's looking out for our health. Thanks, Wario. There's Orvulon,
So
everybody's favorite alien.
he's back with essentially the same gimmick, which is just that his games are longer and they supposedly require more thinky stuff. Actually, I think this one's it's less thinky and more just they're longer, and that sort of lends itself to having the sort of puzzle element instead of it just being strictly reaction. But
Yeah.
some of it is still just that. So
I keep thinking that the Moon Bunnies are actually from Rhythm Heaven, but they originated from WarioWare.
oh right, they appeared in Rhythm Heaven.
They had a bunch of cameo appearances, yeah.
You see a little bit of his eye there, which is creepy.
God, fuck. I'm gonna take a nap.
I don't know if he was implying that I, as the player, took over. Whenever he said that, he's like, you. It's like,
I think he's talking to his bunny cohorts.
well, that's not good.
It's weird seeing depictions of like black holes before we got like an almost near clear picture of what one of those actually looks like.
Whoa.
He doesn't write this shit down.
he doesn't. He doesn't have any like forgot your password links. Also, yeah, here's another one. I didn't have to do literally anything.
Lol.
That fucking sheep sound. They use it in a number of places. I didn't show it, like, the one that's just the sheep micro game where you're, like, jumping over the fence. There's, like, an entire thing where it's just that endlessly until you, hit one of the fences. There's a lot of really goofy stuff, like the sheep will go backwards or really fast or stop in place, and it affects the music as well. It's just an amusing little game.
Oh hey, that radio was playing the song from Cat and Anna stage from Mega Micro Games.
Yeah.
That was the name of the first one, right?
Yeah.
Because I keep mixing it up with like the GameCube one.
Right. Yeah. It's called, what is it, Maiden Wario, originally?
Saying that just makes me think he's Poochie's stand. God, that would be fucked up if Wario accelerated the speed of the universe and he recreated a new timeline where everybody is Wario.
I mean, what do you think happens whenever you complete, like, 5 microgames? Everything starts speeding up.
Oh my god, you may be onto something!
He, in fact, is a Maiden Wario. Some of these games are like, oh, this is so hard with these controls. But some of these games are like, kind of pathetic at level 1. Like, they've actually...
Haldy Stone.
Yeah. Like, they come into their own whenever you actually have, more choices, but... This one's silly.
This one actually got a new coat of paint in, gold, and, it's not always people that are crossing, it's sometimes ostriches. And the wheel in the center has, like, a cute little face on it.
Silly. Actually, I guess that was his forgot your password system, is doing micro games. He's like, damn it, why did I make all the long ones? No!
You know, that actually wouldn't be, like, too bad of a security measure, other than the fact that most people that will be hacking are probably gamer geeks anyways.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, he got an upgrade, so now he's not tiny as shit anymore. Which I think is just because they kept reusing that sprite in the first game. They just kept making it look really tiny.
Oh, Orbulon, please stay tall for the next few games.
Uh-oh. Also, this pose.
Feeling a little fruity.
Player Piano 2!
2!
So, yeah, the penultimate character in this one is 9-Volt, which is interesting.
I guess it's just because he has, like, a mix of everybody else's, gimmicks.
Yeah.
His theming is literally always going to be Nintendo games.
Well,
And,
yeah, retro stuff.
Here's the debut of this character, who's...
No relation to 9-Volt.
Reminder, an elementary schooler in the same class as 9-Volt, so he must be, like, under the age of 10, and that is frightening.
Look, I love this shot, too, where you could barely see the teacher's head.
I'm sad.
They love messing with the music speed. They'll take any opportunity they can to just mess with it. I don't know why this sprite bothers me, just...
That's just kind of how 9-Volt looks.
They didn't animate his mouth, they just drew a few more pixels.
I mean, that's what I do when I make Battle Craze characters talk. Although, I do put a little bit more effort into it.
Yeah, a little bit. Nice Wario poster.
Yeah, Ario of Sorrow.
Yeah, so I kind of spoiled it. This is how the music, yeah, works. It's this, and you can sit there and just screw it all up while the turn controls.
18 volt is me when I visited my eldest bro's friend who had like a lot of Nintendo shit.
Alright, so 9-volt got the most localization changes. I think some of it's obvious because it's like, you know, instead of the Famicom, it's the Nintendo. The NES, as it were. This entire screen looks completely different. Like, it's like wizards, and it doesn't even look 8-bit styled.
It's like more SNES.
Yeah, it looks 16-bit. It's weird. This game is completely new to this version because it originally was like some sort of Japanese-only like visual novel game.
The Famicom Detective, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So yeah, they just changed it to Metroid, which is interesting.
And now all of these wizards are bootleg Spike Formans, who already in of himself is kind of a bootleg Mario.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the name that he had beforehand.
Don't even know it.
Work it? No.
Interesting putting rotation gimmicks into NES games, though. That works.
Could you imagine like a Steam game with a gyro control gimmick?
No. Like, you'd have to make a controller for it, and in today's market, nah.
In! Nice! In! To
Nice,
me when I stop at the hotel.
Oh, this. Yeah, I kind of cheese this a little bit because you could just do this, but...
Mario's universal gravitation.
I do like, yeah, the different levels are just the first 3 levels of Mario Brothers. So the next
World 1, World 1, 2, and like World 1, 4.
Oh, right. That's... I haven't played a lot of Mario Brothers in my life, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think there's only currently one Mario game that you've covered on this watch series.
Oh my god, is there?
Super Mario Odyssey with T.
Oh yeah.
But I'm probably gonna have to like skim through it.
I guess, yeah, that's something we haven't really talked much about. I guess there's not much reason to.
Oh, remember this for later if we ever cover Game and Wario.
Remember, somebody said that confused that for a DS, and it's like...
Yeah, I wonder who that person is. Absolutely not me. I'm
I didn't remember
in
it was
every
you or
way.
not, but like... it might just be an SP, but it could be a DS given, you know... Their DS game came out a couple of months later.
They should have advertised WarioWare Touched in this game.
I know, right?
And, I'm sorry, I hate 8 volts like flesh-colored gums.
It's not a good look. His sprite isn't even animated there, he's just bouncing. Just a weird little dude. Alright, so... we got Wario, man. That's... yeah, I guess he originated here and not in the original WarioWare.
Wario Man, after thinking about it in like context to his prior Wario Land adventures, is kind of redundant, knowing that in most of them he's already immortal and super strong.
That's a good point, yeah, he just like, what does he do? He can fly?
Maybe he's actually worse on purpose, because... I think I remember him saying like a few things in WarioWare Touch, like he's faster than a burrito.
Oh, right, yeah. I never put much thought into it, but yeah, it is just a silly concept, isn't it? Just like, what does him being a superhero do other than It's just an outfit change.
I mean, he's already immortal because he doesn't feel like dying.
Yeah. He has a red mustache in this one? I don't remember that sticking.
It's not even a palette limitation because they could have just made it black because the outline already is black. And he's gonna flash Dr. Krygor and us a lot. I just keep thinking about like that in context.
He's just standing there doing that, and Krygor's like, "What are you doing? Stop!"
Oh, hey, another callback.
Yeah.
Wario invented fire.
I love all the different styles of these games.
Oh yeah.
Like, visually.
They have like... They literally just had the excuse of, we can just make it weird. I love this one!
Yeah. I swear that music is supposed to be a reference to Wario's Woods, but I'm not 100%. It just reminds me of it so much.
I think I like the final, like, Wario micro games the most, just because of how much he inserts himself into them, and how...
They're definitely the goofiest ones, for sure. Oh yeah, this one's funny in emulation. Just kick like crazy.
Today I learned that, Ramen Man from Kaneko Man, split, Brocken in half.
What?
Dude, in Kaneko Man, fucking Ramen Man split a fucking Nazi in half, and it was brutal and it was gruesome.
Alright. That was like a microgame version of commentary.
When you're talking to me, there's always going to be a prompt that shows up saying, "Don't get brain damage." And yeah, this is how I engage conversation. I give a thumbs up and unveil my cape.
Oh my god, this boss game. I have such problems with this one. I think even in hardware, but especially when emulation. And then when I recorded this, I got it first try. I don't know how. It's like I had the ability to rewind whenever I made a mistake, and I just didn't make any. But
This
I swear.
would start the trend of, like, boss final Wario games being, like, dance-themed for quite a few games, like Smooth Moves, Gold, Move It.
Because I know it's untouched. But yeah, this one's... Yeah, it's just Simon Says, but, with a beat to it. And it's really finicky. Like, I swear I've had, I failed this microgame, like, times where it really feels like I shouldn't. The one long play video I looked at that, I was tempted to use, but it's like twice as long as this. They did something, like, they were doing this so badly, I have no idea how it didn't count against them. Like, they were way the fuck off. At one point, I think they just did the wrong direction, and it didn't even punish them for it. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you hold the Game Boy Advance like this?
No, I did not play this game this way, because I need to be able to look at the screen. I do love whenever you fail it, it just says no, and then everything just slows down.
Wario, what the fuck did you do for like the past 3 minutes?
Your flashing power is really, it's super alright. Oh, I don't get this bit either. He throws them in there and then asks, what are you doing? Just like... I do like Krygor has an asymmetric sprite, so every time he turns around they have to redraw it. Ooga!
Ooga!
This series is just permanent non sequiturs. Like
it is just do whatever. The game.
his washing machine that puts things in bubbles now becomes a mech?
I mean,
Oh,
we
no.
gave him a mech in Krygor's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It did do that, although it was a different mech.
Shot drinking game. Take a shot every time that you hear that metal clang noise that's used for the frog switch.
Oh. The rest of the characters just here.
You know, just casually go into space.
I do like his ship is replaced with a different one because, I don't know, the last one crashed. It's got a 2 on it. I do like he's just like, hey guys, how you doing? It's my friends.
You know, the guys that I tried to rob in the first game.
Yeah, why are you shooting me? They're just like, huh, that was weird.
It was red for some reason.
Yeah. I can survive the vacuum of space because I don't care about dying.
Yeah!
Very evil Sherm logic.
Yeah, the difference being that Wario won't be affected by it because he truly believes himself, and evil Sherm because he's stupid. I have to wonder how WarioWare Inc. as a company operates, considering, you know, child labor.
I don't think it does. I think it will crash and burn if you try to put any sort of realism into it.
Do you think Wario would do Bitcoin?
Yes. He is not above that. He does not give a shit.
Oh god. The next WarioWare game is gonna deal with him having AI and firing everybody.
I use AI to create my NFTs. Yeah, there's like
Now Wario is telling us to keep playing instead of taking a break. Huh, I see how it is.
Yeah. Present from Wario Man, who's different from Wario.
Oh yeah, the aliens, for some reason, for like to represent the credits, is also like consistent across both WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven.
Weird. Oh yeah, the elevator trend where the big like mixed games are all an elevator that has squiggly lines, line boil as it were,
Yeah.
and they all feature a random animal. This one's the monkey.
Monkey.
First one was pig,
Monkey, then
bear.
bear, elephant. They didn't have him in Game & Wario. Game & Wario will be fucking interesting to talk about because it's not one of those games that I've played, but it's an interesting like look back at how bizarre the Wii U was and why it honestly wasn't as good as other Nintendo consoles.
Yeah. How does
Like-
Wii U emulation work? Do you have to emulate the gamepad controller?
Probably. I would recommend emulating Game & Wario. I would just like look up a long play, to be honest.
I was just thinking about it, just like the concept of you'd have to have that little screen controller. Like, I like the Wii U conceptually. I feel like it also has innate problems, which is why it did so terribly. But I think the gamepad, the screen controller thing is pretty neat. It combines what's good about the DS with what's good about their console games. But yeah, yeah, it was
I feel
vicious.
like I feel like when they got to the Nintendo Switch, they just figured it out because the Nintendo Switch is like all in one. It's more compact. The screen
Yeah,
itself is a touch screen, so you don't have to deal with a big chunky peripheral that's both connected and separate from the console itself.
there was a couple of gimmicks that can only be done with the Wii U. There was so that was that zombie game that it had a thing where like somebody could play as sort of the what do you call it, the director of like and like play their own version of a game like on their own screen, and then you have everybody else playing on the console. And so you could do some interesting stuff with that. There were gimmicks there that could work, but it didn't it didn't sell a console, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where the idea was so out there that the gimmicks that they came up with were kind of
I think there was some good stuff there. There was a lot of problems. The some of, or at least one of the main issues was just that the console's name could have been something else. That would have
yeah,
been nice.
because it could play Wii games, but it was, entirely different from the Wii.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout out to this medley of the character themes, which is pretty cool. Like they like doing that on in the same way that Sonic does. I've always been a big fan of that. Hey, Charles Martinet. Martinet.
Hey, Charles Martinet.
I know how to pronounce the name, but every time I read it, I pronounce the T like a dingus.
Yeah, I think we'll save the Wii U talk when we get to Game and Wario because I think that was a launch title, and I feel like it's a good way to see what we're talking about here.
Right.
Yeah, we just need to see if there's a long play that has both the main screen and the touchpad screen.
I'm actually curious when the DS came out.
2004? It came out a lot earlier than I always think because I always assumed that it came out 2006, but no, it came out 2004.
November 2004 in North America. It came out later in Japan, like a month later.
Ah,
Actually, more like a little over a week later, but still. That's kind of
uh,
strange.
what year did the 3DS come out?
3DS. 2011.
That's also earlier than I always think. I think it's just because I got one late in 2013 because of Pokemon X and Y, which is kind of nowadays not a good reason to get a 3DS. And when did the Wii come out? Was that 2004 as well? Or 2005?
2006.
Oh.
That was okay. Yeah. That was around a couple of years before the Wii came out. Yeah.
And
Makes sense.
Wii U was 2011 or 2012?
The Wii was discontinued in 2011. Let's see.
Wii U, yeah.
2012, late 2012.
Ah, so closer to 2013 then.
Yeah. It's a good way to wrap up talking about the Game Boy Advance game WarioWare Twisted. Other
Yeah.
console release dates.
It wasn't the last Game Boy Advance game, though. We probably won't have a Rhythm Heaven watch given how much of that series is music, but yeah.
Um, I guess this game came out after the DS was out. Let me see. No, but it was pretty close.
Ah.
I mean, in America it did, which is that I do recall specifically playing this game after playing the DS one, which that very much explains why.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes consoles are just gonna have like stragglers of games that come out like even when the new one is out.
it's weird that yeah, for some reason this game in particular got delayed like 7 months. It's localization did. It was October
Well,
2004 in Japan, and then May 2005 in the US, and then not at all in Europe. So